This is the final boss of Women Most Affected. War shatters the dating scene for women in Ukraine.
That's too bad.
Women are having a hard time.
War is hell
But this is
on women.
It's war is hell on women. This is New York Times, by the way. We're not talking. This is in some small publication.
This is the Lion New York Times.
This is the Lion and Crying New York Times, who is saying that women in Ukraine are having a really hard time. And they actually have done this piece being like, can you imagine being one of these women whose life is so affected by the dating scene being bad because the guys keep dying?
Yeah, because there's like all the guys come back and they don't. And some of them are like, the guy's not dead, but she's like, he only has one leg.
Icky.
Yeah, she goes.
She gave her the ick. The guy had one leg.
The one leg gave her the ick a bit.
She has to deal with having
lost his leg fighting for your fucking freedom and kind of yuck.
For the past 2.5 years, weird name, Katerina Barakna, I think, Barakna, has wanted to meet someone special, but war keeps getting in the way.
War.
She met a soldier, but then he was sent to the front lines. She traded text messages with another man, but those fizzled because he was in no mood to meet, fearing he might soon be drafted. On the dating app Bumble, she thought she liked the looks of this hipster, but then when she scrolled through his photographs, she noticed his amputated leg. Poor fucking thing.
Now, he is a hipster. Did he just amputate it because it's cool?
He thinks that's the new...
It might be, like, that might just be a hipster trend and not... Trend. He goes, I'm a pacifist. I'm not fighting
Oh,
shit.
No, sorry.
No, this is a cosmetic amputation.
I wasn't in the army. I just identify as a one-leg guy. The nerve of them to write this article of like,
yeah, you don't
women.
have to write every article.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, to just be like, yeah, poor thing. You go, yeah, I mean, I guess it'll suck. But
if I was this girl, I'd be like, are you sure people are going to empathize with me in this scenario?
This is kind of what I'm going for, is to kind of get some sympathy dick here.
I know.
Yeah.
By the way, though,
although if the war ends and you make it back, dude, Sniz City.
Just thinking that. It's Guelph all over again.
You're in gender studies class for your whole life. Your whole country is gender studies class.
Legitimately?
Like, what, I'm the only guy right here?
That is probably one of the war things when you're like in a real war like Ukraine and Russia are, where like a lot of people are dying. You're just like, if I don't die.
Oh, that's probably how they're fucking gassing them up. Look, defeat the enemy and you'll have so much sniz waiting for you.
Your dick's still working? You go, the doctor goes, yeah, you're going to need it.
You're going to have some honorable discharge coming out of that bad boy. You know what I mean?
You go, I've noticed that your dick is a little sore. The guy goes, my dick's not a little sore. He goes, no, it will be.
It will be. Wait till you get back.
I've noticed that your dick has clinical wetitis. Soaking.
Yeah, and I don't think even the Ukrainian chicks, like, they're not going to all become lesbians like they would here.
No, here they'd
like
be
here, like in Brooklyn, if or whatever, they send them, all these people disappear.
Well, that's one of the things she said is she goes, it's also, I'll just read it. There's... I don't know where it is. We'll get there. I looked at his profile for 15 minutes and felt so sorry for him, said Barakna, 35, a marketing director for a clothing brand in Kiev. She wondered if she could handle a relationship with a maimed war veteran. Then she swiped left, removing him from potential matches. I felt I'm not ready for that. So that's the kind of trauma that she has to fucking
got
deal
a lot
with.
Of trauma to deal with.
She had to swipe left on a guy with no legs.
I would definitely swipe left on some no-legged broads.
Well, sure, but would you now have the fucking audacity to be featured in an article about what you had to go through swiping left on this fucking fat chick with one leg?
No, that dies with me and everybody who watches this podcast.
You never talk about it ever again.
Yeah. You're definitely not trying to be a victim of this.
Dating women who are sex trafficked is really hard for men. Yeah. That's the equivalent.
Yeah, basically.
For women, the problem is particularly acute. Tens of thousands of men have died. Many more on the front lines. Some have fled the country, and others are reluctant to leave their homes, fearful of being stopped in the street by draft officers. In cities like Kiev, the capital, the presence of men has noticeably dwindled. In some villages, conscription has hollowed out the male population. This leaves a small percentage of men who are ready and want relationships, said Margarita.
And
so it's not just one girl. They found a couple
women
girls
in it. Let's get there. The guy who somehow dodged the draft because they're like, yeah, I got bunions. And they're like, dude, it is all you can eat buffet right now.
It is a little bit, though. If you can give yourself an injury, you're like... Would you, stab yourself so you can get sniz?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure tons of people did that to not go to the war. I'm sure tons.
Yeah,
of people
but there's a
just
secondary component of it where you're fucking bathing in it now.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a bunch of dudes who just like hit their hand with a fucking hammer to not have to go to the war.
Several women have said in interviews that they're worried about dating servicemen who might have war trauma.
Oh, you're worried? Oh, chicks don't love trauma anymore? We like childhood trauma. War trauma gives me the ick.
Fake trauma.
Yeah, not real trauma.
We want a guy whose parents were divorced, even though 50% of people's parents are divorced, and he has some issues with it.
Imagine the guy being like, "Man, I got so much trauma. It's gonna be sick when I get back." And they go, "Not that kind of trauma.
We're not talking. We don't want that much trauma." The war has also heightened ideological divides. This is what I meant to find. Crushing potential relationships that may have blossomed before the conflict. Some women now refuse to date draft dodgers, saying that they are unpatriotic. So, they're doing what I just said.
Yeah.
They've convinced girls that you don't want no small dick draft dodging man.
No. Yeah, they don't want the draft dodgers. They don't want the war heroes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want, ladies?
Can't make up their fucking mind.
Can't make up your fucking mind.
These broads can't make up their mind.
They just I mean, it is a classic woman thing. They go, yeah, we just want the most heroic dudes, 40 kills.
With no trauma.
Didn't get touched. Has no problem falling asleep at night.
But he's also soft.
Yeah, he's a little softy. He's likes cats, but likes animals.
They want Rambo.
Yeah, they literally want Rambo. Well, they don't know. Rambo would be
too much trauma.
Too much trauma. Way too much trauma. They don't want Rambo. They want Rambo, but like in
No, they want what's that?
But like Harry Styles.
They want
Rambo.
the guy from Dune.
Yeah, exactly. Chalamet.
Yeah, like a buck 30 dripping wet, but somehow just murdered everyone.
That's the ideal. You go, there's two of those guys.
The strain on war on Ukrainian men is evident in the dating apps, observing that many look very depressed and tired.
That's just Eastern European.
Some of those guys.
That's just Russian, Ukrainian.
It's funny to think of a
all sour face, like they just look like me.
Yeah, his photo on the dating app, just 5 swipe, and it's the same pose, just in 5 different places.
Yeah, this is what we call smile.
Yeah, this is smile.
I am smiling.
Why smile? Nothing to smile for. That's his caption.
Swipe right if you want a good time.
So that's not doing it for us. Some of the guys look depressed.
Oh, you don't like the depressed boys?
Some of them even look tired.
Like, all right, you might have to lower your standards here a little bit. There's a lot less guys available, period.
She, another woman, said some of the men's mood was gloomy.
Oh, yeah. I'd be pretty gloomy if I was about to get fucking drafted into the meat grinder.
Well, that's the thing. You're fucking 5 minutes into this guy paying for your dinner, and you're like, you're kind of bumming me out.
He goes, any day I could be deployed.
And she goes, yeah, check, please.
Yeah.
You're going to grab that?
This isn't really. I'm not vibing right now. The vibe is kind of off because I'm trying to like just have fun, and you're kind of bringing me down a bit with this whole getting drafted business.
Yeah, you're inflicting your trauma on me right now.
Look, I get that your whole family has been murdered, but
I'm not really feeling the vibe.